So, right now, with all the Marvel Cinematic Universe fans and the Marvel fans, the biggest discussion is how will the X-Men, how will the Fantastic Four be introduced to the movie world? As we know, they will be rebooted, except for Deadpool, into Marvel. Kevin Feige confirmed at Comic-Con that they are working, or at least they have plans for X-Men and also for Fantastic Four. Now, it's worth noting that the multiverse is going to be pinnacle going forward. At San Diego Comic-Con, Elizabeth Olsen, who plays Scarlet Witch, was there for Doctor Strange 2, aka Doctor Strange in the Multiverse Madness. Now, this tells us that Scarlet Witch will be a pinnacle role to that movie, and the multiverse is going to be literally everything going forward in the MCU to the latter stage of Phase 4. So, what is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on how X-Men and Fantastic Four could be introduced into the MCU, but we here at the channel do not believe that it's going to be a simple origin story. So, we are also giving away EndGame on Blu-ray or 4K. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel with notifications on and let me know down below how will they be introduced. So, for the last few months since Disney acquired Fox characters, all of them, everyone's been insinuating that Wolverine, the Fantastic Four could have appeared in Avengers 4. Well, they didn't, but they definitely will appear now. We've had literal confirmation that it's happening. We've also had teasers from Ryan Reynolds saying the investigation's on. Phase 5, I call it. So, we know it's coming. We know that Doctor Strange is one of the strongest characters we've ever had in the MCU. And according to a recent report, now Scarlet Witch is the only person who could go toe to toe with Thanos. That was quite apparent. I don't know why that needed alliterating. I don't know why they needed to tell us that, because anyone who watched EndGame knows if Thanos didn't chuck an army on Scarlet Witch, she would have single-handedly taken out Thanos. So, as we know, Doctor Strange 2 is going to be scary, it's going to be gothical, it's going to be very, very different, to the point where before they've even started pre-production, as far as we know, they've already told us that Scarlet Witch is going to be in it. And we know that it's going to be mad. And we know that we're going to get Scarlet Witch's true form. And we know that we're going to get a stronger, without the time stone version, of Doctor Strange. So, there will be consequences to the multiverse. We've only really seen the multiverse and other dimensions in Doctor Strange 1. We've seen the Dark Dimension. We've seen the Astral Planes. I guess you could say we've seen the Astral Planes in Black Panther as well. The multiverse was spoken about in EndGame and Infinity War, although we didn't actually see it. We've seen the Quantum Realm. So, we know that because it's going to be such a scary movie, it's still going to be a PG-13, that it's looking like Nightmare, who controls the Dream Dimension, could appear in this movie. It's strongly suggested. A few years back, Scott Derrickson literally said he wanted Nightmare, and there's a lot of people saying Nightmare is the confirmed villain, although there is no confirmation. But what villain would sanction a Nightmare? What villain would sanction Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange? Super OP. Now, this is where we come into how and when or if the X-Men or Fantastic Four could be introduced in this movie, but more importantly, they could be teased. So we know they're going to go to the multiverse, which is essentially loads of different universes or planets that are exactly like ours, but things are different. At least in DC, Infinite Earths, there's Infinite Earths, as exactly the same. That's kind of a variation of multiverse in the Flash TV show. This is the easiest way to explain it. So that is why I do not think it's going to be a generic origin story for the Fantastic Four. They very well could be established wherever they are, but the ramifications of whatever happens in Doctor Strange 2 could bring the mutants and could bring the Fantastic Four through with their said villains. And that would be a quite smooth and realistic way for them to introduce Fantastic Four and X-Men. Guys, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below, how would you introduce the Fantastic Four? Because the Fantastic Four, it's a bit of a buzzword. Everyone says it's on Phase 5 slate, although that wasn't really said. It was kind of implied, so we can kind of say it is pretty much confirmed, but it isn't exactly gospel yet, is it? So, we know WandaVision, the streaming show, will come off the back of this movie, or it is at least tied to it. So, we know that if they are both going up against Nightmare, they will essentially have to go through their own nightmare, which will obviously be the way of how they bring back Vision from the multiverse, not her Vision, a different Vision. It is pretty obvious what they're going to do with this movie, but I think it's going to have massive ramifications for the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, and potentially even Deadpool, because Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange 1, introduced the multiverse, so the second movie is going to kick back into the multiverse massively, because you got to think of all the other movies and streaming shows that come before this one. No other one will invoke the multiverse before this one. It would literally make no sense for any other movie in the slate: Black Widow, Eternals, Loki, Hawkeye, The Falcon Winter Soldier, Shang-Chi, What If. See, the only other one would be Loki, but we know the Loki show is about Loki's journey from wherever he went in EndGame to one day return to the MCU. So the multiverse is going to be ripped open during Doctor Strange 2, and that is how the Fantastic Four coming out in the MCU is linked to Doctor Strange 2. Now, this is just a theory, but I think this makes a lot of sense of why the second Doctor Strange movie is pinnacle to the X-Men and Fantastic Four coming. We do know the release date for this movie is May 2021. So we've got some time yet. They'll probably start shooting next year at earliest. And obviously after this, we're in 2022, 23, 24. Fantastic Four and X-Men could appear. Because Kevin Feige said he can't wait to introduce the Marvel's first family to the MCU. So it's pretty obvious that the Fantastic Four will appear before the X-Men. But they can tease things inside Doctor Strange 2 without actually casting anyone for said role. So guys, if you don't agree with me, let's have a conversation down below. Let me know. Now, this is only a theory that I think has a lot of validity, and it has a lot of precedence, and also it could work. But if this isn't how they're going to introduce the X-Men and Fantastic Four and Deadpool into the MCU, let me know down below, how would you introduce Deadpool, Fantastic Four, and the X-Men into the MCU? Because we know, it's confirmed, we know they are coming. They would not just buy all the Fox properties, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Deadpool, etc., not to use them. I just find it a little bit interesting how they basically confirm Scarlet Witch is the strongest Avenger just before she appears in WandaVision, then appears in her own show, obviously aka WandaVision, and then she co-stars the Doctor Strange movie alongside Benedict Cumberbatch aka Stephen Strange. It could just be a coincidence, but there's going to have to be some correlation to whatever is coming through the multiverse. The other way is, maybe they could be stuck in a negative zone. There is a rumor floating around that there's a movie coming out of Fantastic Four in 2022, but I don't really believe that obviously the X-Men are stuck in a negative zone. But I believe bringing the X-Men and Fantastic Four and Deadpool through the multiverse would make much more concurrent sense for the general audience to understand this. So, what is good, guys? I hope you enjoyed this video. Just a little theory that I came up with the other day. If you could, please subscribe to the channel. That would be freaking insane. I really want to hit 100,000 subscribers this year. It would be pretty cool. And if we do ever hit that, I will be giving away a PS4 or an Xbox One X. And most importantly, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. Any constructive criticism down below will be awesome. I'm going to be mixing up a lot of stuff on the channel coming up. I'm going to be changing how I do things. I've had a little bit of negativity, a little bit of negative comments recently, but it's good. You help me grow, and we could still grow the Warstu, the Warheads army. So guys, let's all work today to have a better tomorrow, and I will catch you in another video very soon, guys. Catch ya later.